What is up, my Breaking Bad friends? We're back for another episode. Super excited for this one. No surprise there. I'm excited for everyone. But at the end of the last episode, we got a pretty huge moment, especially for Skyler, because for the first time, she accepted what Walt has been doing, accepting the money to be able to pay for Hank's treatment, to help pay at least. And so I definitely felt like Walt in that moment, just completely taken aback. Obviously, we'd seen hints that she may have been thinking about it in a few episodes, but we've finally reached the point where Skyler is at least a little bit on board with what Walter is doing. Never thought we'd get here, but here we are. And so I'm very interested to see what happens with their relationship now, because obviously that was the big divide between them and the reason for getting the divorce in the first place. So if Skyler starts down this path now, she may end up at a point in the future where she's not as hostile towards Walter, or she even welcomes him back. So I don't know, anything can happen at this point with this show. But we also had some other pretty big moments last episode. Obviously not a huge moment per se, but Hank did start speaking a little bit and interacting with people, and so it's good to see him slowly recovering, although it probably is going to be a long process. So hopefully within a couple episodes we'll see him back in action, back in some more scenes. And we saw some interesting stuff with Jesse as well, because he's slowly starting to get into his own cooking business again, but it's at the expense of Gus and his product, and so that's extremely risky for him to be crossing the man who has taken out so many people. He just took out the leader of the cartel, or at least removed him from the picture. I don't know if he's the leader of it, but at least he's the leader of the group that the twins were working for. So if he makes a mistake or slips up at all, that might be the end of him, at least his relationship with Gus and Walter most likely. But I loved his other character moments in that episode, with all the dialogue and the stories that he told in his little counseling group there. I thought that was a great look into who he is and who he's been in the past, and how he's kind of always been stuck in this rut, this circular pattern. And all those moments definitely make me feel bad for Jesse's character, because he seems to have great potential and be capable of pretty much whatever he'd like to pursue, but he just gets stuck in the same errors. And so it'll be interesting to see throughout the rest of the show if he ever kind of makes a huge change and doesn't get stuck again. But anyway, I think that's enough discussing of the previous episodes, because I want to go ahead and get into this episode with you all. And if by the end of this video you enjoyed my reaction, definitely consider leaving a thumbs up. Helps the video reach a lot more people and helps the channel out, so I appreciate you all who do that. And as always, you can check out my full-length reaction to this episode and all the episodes from the series on my Patreon, the link for that being in the description. And those always go up sooner than the YouTube edits, so you can see those ahead of time as well if you would like to. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into episode 10. Don't like the happy music. That's never a good sign in this show. And the imagery is kind of creepy too.
Daddy loves you, and so do I.
What the heck was that intro? That was easily the most ominous intro we've ever had before the opening credits. I mean, I'm assuming that was Skyler singing a lullaby to Holly maybe, but I don't know what the flies had to do with anything. Whoa, dang, that was an interesting cut right there. Did he end up sleeping or not sleeping the entire night? Is he just processing still, Skyler accepting the money? Oh gosh, that freaking scared me. Dude is out of sync right now. I don't know what he's going through right now, but maybe he's feeling bad that he's got more of his family involved now.
And water boys.
Cool camera angle.
You know, treat us right.
Dang, they're getting real creative with the transitions and the cuts in this episode. Also interesting, they've changed the color of their suits now.
These numbers, they just don't add up. Our output, we're off. 0.14% off.
What does that mean?
We should be netting more than we're netting.
How far off are we?
Oh gosh, dude, is he going to catch Jesse already? Shoot, bro, I thought it was going to take a while for him to get caught, not the very next episode.
Oh, what about the crap that gets left behind?
Vestiges.
Yeah, vestiges.
Bet that's it.
Even if he convinces him of something that's not the correct answer, I feel like that's only going to stall for a little bit. He'll eventually get caught on.
Are you coming?
Yeah, in a minute.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Whoa, directed by Ryan Johnson? Is that the Ryan Johnson? That's the last name that I expected to see on here. What? Oh, so that's how the fly from the opening correlates to the episode. Oh, easy, my guy. Even if you don't hit that fly, you're just gonna scare it to death anyway. Oh, jeez. This is such an interesting sequence. Even the random things in this show like this are entertaining, though. Hitting a fly on the ceiling isn't quite as easy as throwing a pizza on the roof, is it? Bro, Walter just needs to give it up, man. He's just making an absolute mess, and he lost his shoe, too. Bro, you are risking it a lot. Please don't tell me Walter's gonna end up in the hospital after this, too, just alongside Hank. What? I knew something like that was gonna happen. And that was legit Bryan Cranston who did that stunt. What an absolute legend this man is. I can't believe he did that on camera in one take. Love the rack focus. Man, just with everything, I know there's something more to that scene than just him being annoyed by a fly. I don't know what it could be, though. Maybe it's just to show his lack of ability to take care of small, annoying issues, or that little things are what set him off the most. Oh, my heart, man. That sucks so bad.
There's been a contamination.
Shouldn't we be wearing masks?
No, it's not that kind of contaminant.
So it's like not dangerous?
Not to us, particularly.
This man is changing their whole routine for a fly. Why the heck is this fly the worst thing that's come into his life in this series?
Exactly what kind of contaminant are we dealing with?
A fly.
Fly, like, what do you mean?
I mean, a fly. A housefly.
Dude even knows telling Jesse that he sounds ridiculous.
No cooking until this fly is dealt with. The batch will be good for nothing if we don't clear the contaminant.
We're making meth here.
The contaminant has got to be a double meaning for something else right now. I'm sure it's a reflection of Walter's own life, and the fly in this case is maybe either Jesse or Skylar or something else. Or maybe it's Hank. I don't know.
You know that there's a acceptable level of rat turds that can go into candy bars? You know, see what I'm trying.
What are you doing?
Oh, that was excellent camera work. Walter is such a menacing figure right now.
It stays closed. That's an order.
We're 50-50 partners, remember?
Oh my gosh, dude, what is he doing? Walter never fails to just go berserk on Jesse.
Jesse. You see it, right?
This has got to be one of the most insane first couple minutes to an episode of the show so far, just because of how absurd everything that's going on is.
I'm gonna make it count.
Okay.
Oh, dude gave it all it's worth. Probably just gave this man brain damage. No doubt he's been waiting forever for one of those free chances.
Right there, look. See, I told you I got it.
This is a raisin.
Oh gosh, man, they're just gonna be locked in here forever. They're never gonna catch this thing.
This fly is a major problem for us, and we need to destroy it and every trace of it. Failing that, we're dead. There is no more room for error.
Gosh, man, that's some freaking spooky dialogue. I feel like all of Walter's problems are just funneling into this fly.
Last thing we need is to get locked out.
Yeah.
You're not gonna help me. Stay out of my way.
Bro, what? That's definitely the most angry Walter we've seen in a while. But I never hate seeing that version of him because it's great acting.
Say goodnight.
Jesse just screwed Walter right there. Love the lighting though. Holy crap. The red is so cool.
Need some juice? Maybe?
My gosh, man, what is happening in this episode? I wonder if it's ever going to like straight up show what metaphor this fly is making, or if it is one, or if we're just going to go through the whole episode and they won't get to it.
I sure hope we have enough.
I go out on a limb and say, yeah.
Bro, what? This is so much overkill. Don't think this fly knew who it was messing with when it came in this lab.
Take cream and sugar?
Black is fine.
Oh, Jesse, dude. What a freaking genius. Feel like Walter's too smart, though. He's gonna know something's up. Oh, no way. It actually worked. He's drinking it. What's Jesse's plan, though, if he knocks Walter out? I'm assuming just get to work.
I missed it. Some perfect moment. I had to have enough to leave them, but it had to be before she found out.
Perfect moment.
Now we're getting somewhere. This is some great dialogue. We're about to find something out.
What, you saying you want to die?
I'm saying I've lived too long. You want them to actually miss you, but she just won't. She just won't understand.
Dude, I loved the cinematography of that moment, the way that Walter was placed between those two lines. I can see it almost representing these two roads that he can choose of thinking. And as soon as he went in one direction, the camera moved and we lost one of the lines from the frame.
Before the Fuchs date, I didn't have enough money, so no. And plus, my daughter wasn't born yet. It had to be after Holly was born.
Oh man, this is phenomenal acting by Bryan Cranston right now. This is so cool to get this dialogue, this look into his character.
Ah, I know the moment. It was the night Jane died.
Uh-oh, no, don't you dare confess.
I stopped at a bar. I never do that. This man, this stranger, engages me in conversation. He's a complete stranger. But he turns out to be Jane's father.
Oh gosh, man, what is about to happen? I'm on the edge of my seat right now. Please don't tell me Jesse finds out.
Think of the odds. Astronomical. That night, in that bar next to that man.
What'd you talk about?
I always knew that episode and that moment was just an incredible, point of no return and change in his character.
I told him that I had a daughter, and he told me he had one too. And he said, never give up on family. And I didn't. I took his advice.
Dude, I love this scene. This dialogue's so good. There's so much tension knowing the real truth about what happened after that, though. I wonder if that's going to ruin Jesse hearing that too, though.
That was the moment. I should never have left home. Never gone to your house.
No, Walter, what are you doing? Stop. I know what the fly is now. The fly was the guilt of killing Jane. He can't move forward until he faces that demon.
I could hear them on the baby monitor. She was singing a lullaby. If I had just lived right up to that moment, and not 1 second more.
Holy cow, this is incredible, man. Just elite acting as always from Cranston. That gives me so much to reflect about and think about. That's amazing dialogue. That really was the freaking turning point where everything changed.
He's not coming down. He's staying up there forever.
Oh my gosh, dude, does that line refer to Walter never confessing and just having to live with his mistake? I'm so glad that I think I have the right understanding of what that fly is referencing now. Everything has so much more significance after realizing that in the dialogue.
Jesse. I'm sorry.
Oh no, he's telling him right now. Oh my gosh, dude, Jesse's gonna kill him.
I'm sorry about Jane.
Yeah. Me too.
Very sorry.
It's not your fault.
Jesse, if only you knew what is going to happen when he reveals this information, because I feel like he's going to. This dialogue's tense enough without Jesse being on top of a ladder precariously.
2 junkies with a duffel bag full of cash. Both would have been dead within a week. I miss her though.
We need to cook.
What about the contamination?
It's all contaminated.
There's so much rich dialogue right now. I mean, the way that Jesse was the one going for the fly right there, surely that's got to signify how Walter not telling him is making Jesse the one having to deal with the problem and the guilt. Oh my gosh, the slow motion, dude, that's sick. Jesse did it. Man, this is like a really, really good episode, but it's really unexpected, and it's not like any of the others.
That's half a pound. Now, I'm not accusing you. If they ever found out.
I didn't take.
Jesse, come on. Walter knows. Let him be on your side.
I won't be able to protect you.
I was asking you to.
Dang, man, what a moment. Jesse is playing with fire. This has kind of been nice. I don't know if we've had a, like, exclusively Walter and Jesse focused episode and them working together in a long time. No way, the fly followed him home. What the heck? That's so cool. This thing is never gonna stop bothering him. Dude, that episode was actually really, really good. I love that this show isn't afraid to not, like, spell things out for you. And it can give you episodes like this where you really have to work and think about it. And I don't even know if all my interpretations of what it meant were correct. I hope so, because I feel like that makes sense and it adds some pretty solid meaning to it. Even if I didn't feel like I had a grasp on what this episode was trying to tell me and represent, I still feel like I would have loved it because we got so much fantastic acting from Bryan Cranston as well as Jesse in this, but mainly from Cranston because his performance in this was just phenomenal, so captivating, especially when it started to kind of be revealed what was truly bothering him and he started to show some of that raw emotion. I just was so gripped, and I thought it was kind of fun and really engaging for me as a viewer to not have everything revealed and kind of spoon-fed right off the bat, because it was a little bit of a challenge and a mystery to try and figure out what the point of the episode was, what everything was representing. And so I respect the filmmakers for doing that, because a lot of times people may not trust the audience or just not trust themselves in being able to portray something and have it gain meaning without spelling it out. But I really liked that as a contrast to some of the episodes that we've been getting recently, because I feel like this season especially, this is the only one that's had this sort of feeling. And as I mentioned, I loved that most of it was just Walter and Jesse interacting with each other the whole time, and just the fact that they were locked in a room. We didn't go to any other set settings really, besides just parked outside the building. I liked that we finally got an exclusive episode focused on their relationship, because that's easily been kind of the most interesting part of it since the beginning of the series, at least with them, their characters. And it's sad to kind of see and think that this has been weighing on him ever since that moment. And that's still one of my favorite and most impactful moments of the series for me. And to see that it affected Walter just as much as it affected me, obviously not just as much because I'm just watching it, but you get the point. I feel like that's kind of satisfying as a viewer to see a big moment reflected and brought up again later. But also beyond that, I think it's just really nice to see some humanity with Walter. We hadn't really seen much of that, especially since that moment. I feel like it's just been a constant downward spiral for him and his character, but that's the first time I feel like we've really seen him have genuine remorse for some of his actions, because I feel like before it had mostly been about him either getting caught in certain situations or having something else happen that he didn't like or that hindered his progress. Those were the things that were seeming to upset him the most. But it's fascinating to see how much him killing Jane has really changed him. And the last few lines of that episode are definitely some fun things to analyze as well. Just Walter saying that he cannot protect Jesse from everything, specifically from Gus and everyone there, definitely shows again his motivations for what he did in that moment with Jane, because he feels protective of Jesse, it seems like. And I know in the past and even recently, I've just really felt that he's trying to control Jesse, and he feels like Jesse's a project to him. But that was kind of a really cool moment, just to see that he also cares about Jesse as a person and wants to keep him safe. And he wasn't willing to just get mad at him, because he clearly knew that Jesse was probably the one who's been taking the product, but he didn't get mad at him like he may have in the past. So hopefully we'll see Jesse kind of recognize that Walter cares about him a little bit more than at least I thought initially. But I thought it was a great episode. We didn't necessarily cover a ton of ground, but I thought it was just masterful filmmaking. So hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this one with me. If you did, definitely consider leaving a thumbs up. Helps the video out, helps it reach a lot more people. So I appreciate all your guys' support, and I look forward to seeing all of you in the next episode. And until then, peace.